but when they opened the abdomen, the tumor was so huge that it was felt that it was not safe to proceed with the tumor removal, and surgery was abandoned. Next slide, please. So Mr. Marathe contacted us, came and met Professor Rela. This was a scan that was done before the operation. You can see the tumor is pretty much filling the entire abdomen. It's arising the liver. You can see the liver at the upper right part of the second picture, and the size of the tumor as compared to the liver itself. Next slide, please. In fact, when we looked at measured the tumor was 25 centimeters in size, which is actually bigger than a regulation size football.
It's a much more high profile thing in India, and everybody gets excited with liver transplantation rather than liver surgery. Now we have a fairly large program of liver resections for cancer. I think whenever liver resections is possible, that should be the first line of treatment rather than liver transplantation, because liver transplantation is a very expensive operation, and it's got a lifelong commitment with immunosuppression. Obviously, there are very clear guidelines as to who are the patients who should have liver resections and who are the patients who should have liver transplantation. And sometimes liver resections are necessary whenever liver transplantation is not an indication, like in this case. People might think, why couldn't you do a liver transplantation in this situation? But patients sometimes don't do better with liver transplantation, they do better with liver resection. So I wanted to introduce this concept of the possibility of operations for liver cancer, which does not include liver transplantation. Now, there are many, many people in this country who are struggling with what treatment options are available around the country. And in some respects, actually this liver resection operation, which may sound a much simpler thing than liver transplantation, is much, much more difficult technically and much, much more demanding, and surely much more riskier than liver transplantation, because particularly in patients with cirrhosis, this is an example of a gentleman who's been suffering from liver disease and hepatitis B for a long time, which is why he formed the liver cancer. Many people would just say, in a patient with cirrhosis, liver resection is not possible. And it's fraught with danger because the liver can fail after the operation. So there are many instances where patients have undergone an operation, they open the abdomen and find that the liver is diseased and they close up. And some of them can't even have liver transplantation. So what I want to convey really to you and to the public is that liver resection is complicated, and it needs to be offered in centers of excellence where even the facilities are greater than liver transplantation. And it's not compared to liver transplant, it's not an expensive operation. Maybe some hospitals may not think that it is important to develop these services to such high levels. And I just want to recall this gentleman when I went to see. I just want his son to really give some talk about it actually, how they feel. This is an example of a patient who's gone around everywhere and have had many opinions from different doctors, and most have said nothing is possible. That, you know, when you mean nothing is possible, they're actually telling you to go home and, you know, wait for the eventuality. And there are some who said that maybe we can attempt it. And he's had an attempted operation before he came to us. It's been opened up and then closed because it was bleeding everywhere when they opened up. So it's important for patients and the families to understand that there is this option available, and in today's world it's very easy really to find out where these can be done and how well these can be done in other places. And he's an intelligent young man, I think, so he came to see me with the x-rays. And then I said that it is possible to operate on this. And he's gone through it. And things have gone well, and we hope that in the long term, as you all know, that cancer is something that nobody can say at the end of an operation that it is successfully treated. It's been successfully removed, and he will need long-term care and follow-up, because these tumors can form other tumors in other parts of the liver, and which need to be diagnosed earlier rather than later, like in this case. I just wanted to tell a story. I was just speaking to the son about it, that many families and patients are in a kind of a predicament when they don't know what is happening. They go from doctor to doctor, and they get many different opinions, which for you as lay people may be a bit of a surprise. Maybe that's why you go to different doctors, and you may find that every doctor gives a slightly different opinion, whether about the operation or about the prognosis. And you have to assume that when that happens, it's a difficult case. For most cases which are straightforward decisions are made. And people will go to a doctor, they'll say it requires this treatment. You go to 10 doctors, maybe 9 out of 10 will say this is the treatment. Maybe there is one doctor who might be a bit crazy and have a different opinion. But when cases where you go to different doctors and you get different opinion, and some opinion is like there is nothing which can be done, patients really have a hard time. That they've met 9 doctors who have said that nothing can be done, and the 10th doctor says, actually we can remove it. They will become suspicious actually with the 10th doctor who says it can be removed. And I've come across this many times in my life, and I always wonder what actually makes them trust what I've said. One may be just desperation, because everybody else has said, oh, nothing can be done, and this guy is saying. And a sensible person actually shouldn't think that this is a sensible guy, because 9 out of 10 have said that it's not possible. I don't know if you're all listening to stories that I'm telling. So I was just telling him this morning that what made you think that, because the patient was not there, he came with the reports from Bangalore and spoke to me, and I said, I think it's possible. And what makes people believe what you say, apart from maybe desperation, which brings you to the last person who will offer, because there are many instances that Ayurveda size 7 centimeters மேல இருந்ததுன்னா டிரான்ஸ்பிளான்டேஷன் பண்ணாலும் திருப்பி டியூமர் வந்துடும். அதனால டிரான்ஸ்பிளான்டேஷன் பண்ண மாட்டாங்க. அதனால இவ்வளோ சைஸ் டியூமருக்கு யாருமே ஆப்ரேஷன் பண்ணுறது கிடையாது. இந்த டியூமரோட சைஸ் என்னன்னு கேட்டிங்கன்னா, உங்கள் வயரை பார்த்தீங்கன்னா தெரியுங்க. ட்வின் ப்ரெக்னன்சி, 2 குழந்தையோட கர்ப்பமாக இருக்கிற ஒரு பொண்ணுடைய சைஸ், ஒரு லேடியோட சைஸ் இந்த குழந்தை. நம்ம ஊரில் வந்து குழந்தைங்களோட சைஸ் சின்னது தான், ஒரு 3 to 3.5 kilograms தான் இருக்கும். இந்த ரெண்டு ட்வின் ப்ரெக்னன்சியோட சைஸு இந்த டியூமரோட சைஸ். இது பல இடத்துக்கு போய் ஒன்றுமே பண்ண முடியாதுன்னு சொல்லி கடைசியில் சென்னைக்கு வந்து இந்த ஆப்ரேஷன் பண்ணி இப்போ நல்லா இருக்காரு. நான் இந்த முதல் தடவை என்னை பார்க்கும்போது இவர் வீல் சேரில் தான் இருந்தார். நடக்க முடியாது, ஒன்றுமே உடம்புல ஸ்கின் அண்ட் போன்ஸ் தான். இப்போ பார்த்தாலே உங்களுக்கு ஸ்கின் அண்ட் போன்ஸ் மாதிரி தான் இருக்குது. ஆனால் இது வந்து எவ்வளோ தேவலாம், ஆப்ரேஷனுக்கு முன்னாடி இருந்த நிலைமைக்கும் இப்போ இருக்கிற நிலைமைக்கும் எவ்வளோ தேவலாம். You understand Tamil? They understand. That's why he's smiling what I'm saying. Okay, so இப்போ எல்லாமே நல்லபடியாக முடிஞ்சு நல்லா இருக்காங்க. ஃப்யூச்சரில் எப்படி இருக்குங்கிறத நம்ம ரெகுலராக ஃபாலோ அப் பண்ணி எதுவும் ப்ராப்ளம் இருந்ததுன்னா டைமுக்கு ட்ரீட்மெண்ட் பண்ணால் எல்லாம் நல்லா வரும்னு நினைக்கிறோம். That's all I have to say in Tamil. Thank you.
With a very big tumor, but the doctor very well made it clear that it's a very big tumor and it's going to be a tough thing for him to operate, but he can still do it. That's the confidence that he provided us. So we went ahead and said, yeah, we have to do, in case if that's the only option that we have. So then after a week of his admission, doctor did operate, and at least I was very happy. I was with my dad hoping that it's all done, but when the doctor came back, it was a bad news. That he said that the tumor is so big, I have to just open it and close it back. I cannot do anything. So actually, I did not have any words to say at that time, like what to ask. So I did ask the doctor, is there, can we take a second opinion? Can we talk to some of the doctors in Bangalore? So his instant reaction was, not even Bangalore, for that matter, not even in India. Even if you find, any doctor in the world, they will not be able to operate such a big tumor. So that was a very depressing moment for me to hear. Basically, what it meant is there are no options. You have to just, live with him. And he gave me a time frame. He said, he may live for 1 or 2 months. And if you're lucky, maybe he'll survive for 6 months. So it's like counting days. And with the intense pain that he's going through, it was going to be really a hell for all of us, seeing him in that condition. But immediately we started discussing with friends, and we decided him to move to another hospital in Bangalore, which is a multi-specialty hospital and also known for at least good doctors in gastroenterology. So there again we spent 2 or 3 weeks hoping that they'll do something. Doctors did give us confidence that they'll do the surgery, but that never happened. So for some reasons unknown to me even today, I don't know why they never operated. So, but we lost valuable time in all this process. It was almost like 4 months that we lost in this process. So I would like to thank one of our family friends, Roshan.